Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We are looking at Tesla once again, and what an interesting setup that we see. What do we think is going to happen with Tesla this week? And I asked the question only because we can see that today it was down 3.32%. Over the past 5 days, it's down 3.03%, but it is positive on the 15 days, the 1 month, the 3 month, and the 6 month respectively. It's down on the 1 year, nearly 10%, but we do think, at least based on this 15-day moving average, which is high and rising, that the price is going to continue to move. I mean, we've got a bullish signal on the daily, we've got a bullish signal on the weekly, we've got a price to rise. Things are looking great. If we go ahead and look at the raw data here for Tesla, we can tell right away if we look at this individual chart that we've obviously seen a move off of this 112 level. We've essentially been up and to the right ever since, all the way. It's just about a month now because that happened on the 18th and we are at now the 18th of September. What a fascinating move. What I think is really curious to me, though, is that the price is actually going to fall below its 5-day moving average. The 5-day moving average is at 270, so we do need to see that get reclaimed. Still above the 23-day average, which is positive, but we're seeing 100 million shares traded. 101 million shares traded today as we saw the price kind of drop. And it doesn't seem to be a big deal. We'll see if we get a price to rise again tomorrow. And if we get that consecutive in a row, that's really positive. We see the volatility is starting to break out to a certain extent. Volatility is definitely rising. We do see that obviously the 1 day and the 5 day are both negative, but across the board here, this 15, the 1 month, the 3 months, 6 months is all good. We still see it go long in the short term, intermediate term, and longer term. We look at the trend indicator, we're bullish in the short term, intermediate term, and longer term. We did get that flip in Tesla as of recently. We would say the 274 was when we really believed in it, which is good to see. We look at the overall trend sentiment here, the rising bull, it has been rising. If we look here, this is really nice. I've been waiting for this for a while. Essentially what we see here is in the 2-day rising bullish sentiment, we are still rising. We're back up above 50% now. We're at 52. And it looks like this could be either a sustained move. Maybe we'll top out right about here. I'm not sure. But things look like they're going well. It's kind of nice, actually. We look at it. We look at the overall trading signals. We do have many of the bull Q3. Allows me to believe that things are real. The rising valley, one of my favorite signals. We've got a big bull. We've got some small bulls. We've got a swift bull, which is actually very good. A swift bull, to explain this, is actually when you're going to get the weekly signal lining up with the daily signal. So it is representing here. If we look, we have the daily signal where it flipped bullish after being bearish for quite some time, probably about a month or so. And if we go look at the weekly signal that we have here on Tesla, we can see it is currently bullish as well. So that is a swift bull, is when you essentially get the weekly or the daily lining up with the weekly and you are getting a flip back. When you go ahead and look at the overall charts, we can see on the longer term here, obviously Tesla is continuing to set up. It's rising off of that bottom in August. Maybe we'll top out somewhere around that 300 level. We did it a high in the middle of July at 299. So 300 is definitely a level to be watching here. I don't know if we're necessarily going to get all the way back. This is a interesting look in terms of a drop down. It looks like a gap. We might want to fill this. Not quite sure, but things are looking a little bit more positive in Tesla than they had. You can see the entire month, or in between June all the way to this bottom, it looks like on the 21st, which is not surprising that that was the 21st. In August, that essentially since then we've seen a rise. We've seen the volume increasing, which is nice to see. The volume's starting to roll over a little bit, which is kind of concerning. Look at the volatility. The volatility is rising. The correlation is negative. We would like to see this correlation start to come up. We do see that we did have a lower low here. This is a higher low, so we'd like to see that the correlation starts to go up and become positive while this volatility is breaking out. That'd mean that we're going to get some really high breakouts in terms of Tesla, some really high moves, probably some gaps. Look here at the trade range. One of the things that we can tell is that the top of the range is starting to rise. We do want to see this break back up above 299. We want to see it above 300. We were up above 300 back here in June. We were still having hopes that 300 was in the cards for Tesla. Obviously, we fell down on the 18th. We fell down to 215, which was pretty much on the nose at the bottom of the range. We've essentially been up and to the right ever since. And now the range is actually starting to rise again after it started to decline in the middle of August. And it declined until it hit this bottom essentially on 9/11. Never forget. Now, when we look at where we're going to keep going, if we can get above 300 and the price can follow, that would be very positive for Tesla indeed as we go into the strong seasonal months of October, November, December, January. And we look at what we have, at least on this ultra fast. This is a larger view of the chart we looked at earlier. Ultimately, right now, what we see in Tesla is bullish behavior. We're seeing bullish moves left and right. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the Know How newsletter. We send you 25 stocks breaking out to your inbox every single Sunday. We send you stocks between $5 and $20, stocks breaking out to 1-year highs and all-time highs. It's a great list to check out right before you get your trading week started. I'll talk to you soon.